Yeah. Well, Trump is responsible for all the happiness in my life. We live in a fascist dictatorship now. I wouldn't even call it Soviet. I go to a grand jury, and I can say that you are in league with the devil, and you possessed my soul.
Were you at the Capitol March?
Of course I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before this video starts, let me preface this by saying, me and my boy Jackson, we actually were just walking around New York City looking for some cool film photos, you know what I mean? And we realized all the helicopters in the air, and we realized that, this Trump shit was going down. So we ran over there and we started taking some flicks and, got some cool photos. But then I ran into my boy Ian and we were just like, damn, we should go interview some of these people. So we went around town and, really around the courtyard there, and we met a couple people, but the most interesting person we met that day had to be Edward X. Young. I mean, this man is fascinating. He has kind of gone viral in the last 2 years for being a pretty avid Trump supporter. He was on Comedy Central. He was on Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan. Cue the clip insert right here.
The election is a steaming crock of hog drippings. I can't believe that Americans would really elect an idiot who has the intellect of a bag of carrots, along with his vice presidential running mate, who's a total whore. And let's face it, she's a whore. Kamala Harris was a law clerk.
The personal attack.
Shut up, jerk off.
See, all you have are personal attacks, and all you have are incoherent arguments.
Shut up, because I got free speech. It is legal to beat up and maybe even kill people who wear MAGA hats. The cops will not do anything to protect you. And now I can say I kind of know what it must have been like to be a Jew in Germany on January 30th of 1933.
When we spotted him in the park, we honestly thought he was going to decline an interview, but he seemed eager and honestly really, really, really willing to give an interview. While he might make some really absurd statements and stuff that can be called into question, when I dealt with him, he was probably one of the most respectful people there. He never really raised his voice. He seemed to be a little more of a toned back version than the one he was back on This Place Rules.
My name is Edward X. Young, E-D-W-A-R-D, middle initial X for Xavier, last name Young, Y-O-U-N-G.
All right, Xavier. Or would you like Xavier or Mr. Young?
You could call me Mr. Young.
All right, Mr. Young. All right. So what brings you out here today?
I felt it. I'm here out of a sense of duty and gratitude.
Okay. All right. And for that sense of you said dignity and gratitude?
Duty and gratitude.
Duty and gratitude. Do you feel like you've done that today? Or?
Yes. In 2016, Donald Trump was elected president. This country was dying. He was elected president, and he kept the promise that he made. His promise that he made was he told the working people of America, guys like me, I got your back.
And what do you do for work?
Well, a number of jobs. I have a sales job during the week.
I heard you were an actor?
But I act on the weekends. I've made over 100 low-budget horror movies since 2005.
And has Trump helped you with these endeavors?
Well, as a salesman working in the world of finance, when Trump was president, I was making some damn good money. I was thinking of retiring early. Now I've been dipping into my savings, and the money's worth less and less, and nobody's buying. It's hard to sell. Biden has killed this country. But as I said, Donald Trump told me and the working people of America, I got your back. So I wanted him to know, sir, now that you're in trouble, we got your back. I got your back.
So besides you making a boatload of money when Trump was in presidency, was there anything else that you saw constructive or anything that really helped you?
Yeah. Well, Trump is responsible for all the happiness in my life.
Oh,
because
how was that?
I lost my second wife, my beloved wife, Susan, died of cancer in 2011, and I was alone for a long time. I'm kind of old. I'm in my 60s, but I've been to 56 Trump rallies. And back in December of 2019, I was at a rally in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and I met this wonderful woman who was going to the rallies with me. We kept on meeting up. Her name is Christine. And finally, after so many rallies, at a rally in October of last year, we decided, we should just get married, and she agreed. So we were engaged now. But
wow.
we haven't got the logistics set up, so I hope if President Trump sees your video, he will invite us to get married at Mar-a-Lago.
All right, well, you heard that? Trump's bringing lovers together and keeping peace.
I was actually interviewed by him for an HBO documentary. I was interviewed in D.C.
Were you at the Capitol March?
Of course I was.
Okay.
Yes, but I did not go into the Capitol building.
Okay, so you did not go into the Capitol. Were you on the lawn? What did you see that day?
I saw that everything that's been reported in the news is a lie and a hoax. I went there it was my 50th Trump rally. I went there to see the president speak.
Yeah.
And I got a bad back, and I was almost not even going to march to the Capitol. As he said, let us march peacefully and in an orderly manner to let our voices be heard. But Donald Trump was supposed to show up at 11 o'clock and speak from 11 until noon. Then we were going to march to the Capitol. He's usually pretty much on his time schedule. But he showed up an hour and 10 minutes late. He didn't start speaking until 10 minutes after noon. Evidence will show the distance between the White House and the Capitol is 2 miles across the Great Mall. 2 miles. It takes a while to walk that. Yeah. But the attack began about 12:30.
Okay.
So it couldn't have been Trump supporters that started the attack, because no Trump supporter would walk away from his speech and say, fuck this guy, let's go raid.
How do you think
the government?
How do you think the media portrayed the words and what he said on that day in equivalent to the actual march on the Capitol? Do you think that it was a portrayal? Do you think there was any merit behind the media's narrative on that?
No, the media is 99% Marxist controlled. The media is the Ministry of Propaganda for Joe Biden. We live in a fascist dictatorship now. I wouldn't even call it Soviet.
What believes you what makes you believe that we're in a fascist?
Look what's happened to him here. This is not a crime. This is not a crime. This is what Joseph Stalin and A.F. Hitler would do to their political enemies. As Stalin said, show me the man, I'll find you the crime. We'll invent a crime, and he'll never be convicted of this. If they find him guilty in this nightmare hellscape of New York, by the time he reaches the Supreme Court, he'll be thrown out. But it's using up time that he'd rather be campaigning. The trial won't even start till next year.
Yeah.
It's election interference. That is a crime. Alvin Bragg, the DA, should be disbarred, fired, and he should be arrested and face 5 years in prison.
What do you think about the 36 or 34 counts that he's been accused of, ranging from everything from paying the people who paid off Stormy Daniels and that? The evidence behind that is being presented in court. What do you think? Is that all a sham? Is the evidence not real?
It's a sham. Don't forget,
how do you think evidence in a court of law in the United States?
You understand how grand juries work?
Yes.
The defense is not present at the grand jury.
Understand.
I could go, if I found the right lawyers, I go to a grand jury and I can say that you are in league with the devil and you possessed my soul, and I want to have him sued for that and arrested. And if I got the right lawyer, we would try to prosecute you as being an agent of the devil. And of course it would be thrown out of when the judge got it in an actual trial. He'd say, "What the fuck is this?" I mean, you could, as they famously say, and Alan Dershowitz has repeated many times, you could indict a ham sandwich.
Okay.
It's a non-crime.
You can indict a ham sandwich with 34 counts and evidence.
What have they done? They've taken one alleged crime and sliced it into 34 slices.
Okay.
It's a pizza with 34 slices.
What about the other two convictions that are looming in the air during election season in Georgia's investigation on his comments made to the election overseer about finding votes?
Yeah,
that's an obstruction of an election in itself.
Even more absurd than this thing here. You could look. I've worked for both the Republicans and the Democrats, and when election night is coming and your candidate is losing by a small margin, you'll say things like, "Can't we find some votes somewhere?" That he didn't say manufacture the votes or stuff some ballots, as the Democrats do, as they've done from the beginning of the Democratic Party. It's not a crime to say, "Find me some votes." Did we miss counting something? That is even less of a chance of becoming an indictment than this nonsense in New York City.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I
Yes,
appreciate it.
Certainly.